Take a break from your busy schedule and join Harold Sala for Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living.
There is nothing really new under the sun. And when it comes to human relationships, the same dramas play out over and over again. Take, for example, the following story. A dad and his son have a disagreement. Angry words are spoken. Finally, the dad says, "Don't darken the door of this house again. I never want to see your face." "Don't worry," screams the son, "you never will." How many times has that played out in various themes and variations? Yet the story that I'm about to tell took place over 3,000 years ago. You read about it in the Bible. The father's name was David, and the son was Absalom. After David's affair with Bathsheba, his life began to unravel. His own child by Bathsheba died. Then Amnon, one of David's sons, forced himself upon his sister Tamar, and Absalom so hated his brother for what he did, he engineered his death. David, his heart torn and bruised at the pain and turmoil, banished Absalom from his presence. His honor demanded that kind of tough action. Some 3 years later, however, Joab, the chief of staff of David's army, finds a wise woman and sends her to the king. She tells King David a story about having a husband who is dead, and how 2 sons who got into a fight, one killing the other. Then she says, the clan wants to put the surviving son to death, which would leave her without an heir and destitute. "No," says David, "this is not right." And he gave an order protecting the son, allowing him to return home in peace. Then she tells the king that he has convicted himself, that she has just described the conflict he has with his own son Absalom. In her plea to the king, she argued for reconciliation. She says, "But God does not take away life. Instead, he devises ways so that a banished person may not remain estranged from him." Wow! What profound wisdom and understanding. Who needs theologians if the woman from Tekoa is present? Little did she know that she was describing the mission God sent his own son on a millennium later. Paul said that Jesus Christ was the go-between, the one who reconciled us as sinners to the Father, the one who made it possible for us to come back home. It's an old story, but it conveys a great truth. In a major city, a father and his son argued, and the son left in anger, but after several years he wanted to see his mother at least one more time. He sent a message to his father telling his dad that he'd like to come back home, asking if he would be welcome. "If your answer is yes," he said, "hang a white towel on the fence, and when I take the subway train into the city and we pass by, I'll know it's okay to come home." With sweaty palms and palpitating heart, his eyes were glued on the window as the subway train approached the old family home that backed up on the tracks. To his great surprise, there was not a towel, but a white sheet so large he couldn't miss it. Reconciliation is what the gospel is all about. Paul wrote, "We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God." God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. God's invitation is for you to come home, to be reconciled, to make peace, and to put the past behind you. It is still true.
You've just heard Dr. Harold Sala with Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living. If you would like to listen to the program again, download a copy, subscribe to our e-commentary, or view other resources, visit guidelines.org. We would like to hear from you too. You can email us at info@guidelines.org. That's info@guidelines.org. Thanks for listening, and we invite you to join us again for the next edition of Guidelines.